It's a bit of a challenge to stay balanced on the balance beam, but it's even harder to stay balanced in the midst of everything that's going on around us today. Welcome back to Evening Focus. I'm Pastor Michael Miller, the host here of our Evening Focus tonight, and I've been practicing on this balance beam to figure out how to keep my body in balance, but I think all of us have been really working hard in the last couple of weeks here to figure out balance in this new situation that we find ourselves in, and that can be challenging. There's a variety of things that are impacting us, and I think the people who are at home right now maybe are trying to balance work with caring for their children. Some of us are introverted and get our energy when we're alone, and now maybe there are extra people in the house that we're not used to having there all the time. And there are also extroverts who get their energy by being around others, and when we have to stay home and we can't go out and connect with other people, that disturbs that kind of balance. I wonder what you're experiencing in terms of the challenges of balance right now, finding the right rhythm in life, and just like when you're on the balance beam physically and you start to wobble, you throw your arms out and your legs out to try to even things out again, and I think that's what we end up doing. And sometimes it crashes. Sometimes you fall off the balance beam, and I know that some people have been having some really difficult days. I talked to my daughter through Messenger the other night, and she said she'd had a couple really difficult days of depression, and so I'm aware of that. I know it's going on for many of you as well. So I just first of all want to encourage you to be patient with yourselves and patient with each other, and to reach out for help. Call somebody that you love and care for who can help talk you through. It helps always to voice what's going on to somebody else and to hear them reflect back to you what they're hearing. That helps to work through it. Some people may find it easier to sit down and journal. Just write out your thoughts, because sometimes it's hard to get the perspective. So if you write it out and you see it on paper, that can help you to think through, what do I need to do to get myself back in balance again? Any other ideas that my friends have here?
Art.
Art?
Yeah. Craft. Make something.
All right, yeah, doing some. I was talking to my the landlady who lives up in the upper floor of the house that I live in today, and she's baking. So doing stuff that you love to do is one of those ways that you can restore a sense of balance.
Stressed is dessert spelled backwards.
So eat dessert.
Or make dessert.
Or make dessert, okay.
I don't make dessert.
All right. Well, if you have thoughts about that, we'd be interested to hear what it is that you're finding that helps you to stay in balance during these days, or particular questions that you have that we might be able to reflect on together in one of the coming evenings. Again, welcome. We're glad to have you among us here today. I want to just briefly reflect with you again about our journey through Holy Week, or journey through Lent on the way to Holy Week. We've talked about this week already about trust, about the mystery of God's love, and about thirst. And tonight, as we come in our review of the season of Lent, we come to the fourth week of Lent when we hear the story of Jesus' healing of a man born blind and the meaning of sight. Jesus is inviting us to awaken to see in a new way, to see the presence of God in the midst of our world, to see ourselves in relationship with the mystery of God's love, and to see ourselves in connection with one another and with the creation. You might say that all of us have been born blind and have not learned to see in that whole way that Jesus is inviting. So the story of the man born blind becomes a story of ourselves and how God is inviting us through Jesus to awaken to new sight, to see our relationship with God and our relationship with one another in a new way. So that's a gift that comes to us from the outside. That desire for a fuller seeing, a fuller life is a thirst that we journey with, and it leads us into the mystery of God's love and the challenge to let go and trust. So we continue this walk, and next week, as we come to Holy Week, we see how Jesus puts all of these things together and gives us a vision of what it looks like. It was a beautiful day today. Wonderful, sunny, warm spring day. And so now we have a story for you about such a day. Welcome back to Mandy and our friend Marty.
Hello, friends. I do have a story about a beautiful spring day today called Spring Green. I like all of the pictures in this book. They're very, very well done. And this is a story about a duck. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Denny waddled and back and forth and all around. Are you looking for something you've lost? TJ asked him. No, I'm looking for something I can't find. Hi, TJ. Hi, Danny. What's up? Oh, hi, Chip. I can't think of anything. The green contest at Woody's spring party. The invitation says whoever brings the most original green thing is the winner. No. Why don't you take a leaf? No, that's too common. I want something very special. Maybe a leaf is so common, no one else will bring one. I think I'll take it, said TJ. I'm taking this green apple, said Chip. Isn't it a beauty? Good enough to eat, said TJ. I hope you can hold off until after the contest. I need more time to think, said Denny. Then we'll see you at the party, said Chip. Bye, Danny, said TJ. Don't be late. Maybe if I walk slowly to Woody's house, I'll think of something on the way. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Hi, Danny. I'm taking a banana to Woody's party. Do you think I'll win? Bananas are yellow, Patch. Not if they aren't ripe yet. See you later. Thatcher, what are you taking to the contest? Lettuce, Thatcher answered, and hopped on his way. Everyone has something green but me. Now there's something special. Oh, it's you, Samantha. I guess you're on your way to the party. What are you taking to the contest, Danny? It's a secret, Danny answered. Even to me, he added, when she couldn't hear. There's Minton with a bright green ribbon, and Hopper has a big green crayon. Wait up, Danny. Hi, Ricket. What did you bring for the contest? Nothing, said Ricket. I couldn't think of anything. Me neither, said Danny. It's too late now, said Ricket. Let's go in. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, said Danny. Hey, everybody, look, shouted Woody. Yeah, everyone shouted at once. Danny is the winner. Ricket the Frog is the prize-winning green. Danny and Ricket beamed at each other. Nobody knew their secret, and they weren't about to tell. How about you? Have you found anything green lately? Have you seen any greens sprouting up? I hope you have, because it's starting to get very, very nice out.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, everybody.
Mandy, you know you helped me figure it out.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've been thinking about this coming week, Holy Week, and how we're not going to be able to gather for our usual Holy Week services. And so what can we do at home to create that spirit and that sense of Holy Week worship? So I have this set up here. I put together a colorful cloth, and I'm thinking you could do something like this at home. You know, where's a good space that can be your worship focus during Holy Week? You may have a place that you could just set up and leave, or there may be a spot like on your dining room table that when you gather for worship time, you can set something up there and just keep everything handy. But what I've done here is I've laid out a colorful cloth, a candle lit. Of course, I got Marty and Katie here. You probably don't have Marty and Katie bobbleheads, but you can have some other kind of reminder of faith. So we have a cross here, and I have a bowl that has some water in it, and that could be a baptismal reminder. In worship, you can touch the water and make the sign of the cross on yourself as a reminder of your baptism. You might have a worship book, Bible, and the thing that you reminded me of, Mandy, is something green. This needs a little bit of color here. So we'll add this as a sign of God's creation and the life that is coming up in spring now. You may have some flowers. What else could we add to something like this for a worship space? You were talking about art earlier. So maybe you create some art that you could include in this space. Any other ideas?
You have a place to put your prayers. We have the prayer box, but
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, we have a prayer box that we've been collecting prayers in. Maybe if you're at home with a family, you could create some kind of a bowl or a box for your family's prayers that you would include in there. That's a great idea.
Something you enjoy doing, like a reminder of something.
Something that's life-giving for you? Yeah. Yeah, so you could put a variety of things in this space that remind you of the things that you're grateful for, the signs of God's presence, the things that remind you of God's presence. This weekend, on Friday and Saturday, we plan to have the palms out in front of the main entrance of the church, along with the music that we're going to be singing during our outdoor Palm Sunday service. So you can stop by to pick those up. And so if you have some palms, you could include those in the space as well. So use your imaginations, be creative. But as we gather for worship in Holy Week, we have an opportunity at home to create that space just like we do when we gather here at church. We create a space that invites us into a sense of God's presence so that we can worship together. Well, with that, I want to engage us in some prayers tonight. We've had some requests, and so I'm grateful for those. And we'll add a few to those that we've already received. So, again, in terms of balance, it was a beautiful spring day on the one hand, but we also heard the report that there are now at least 1 million cases of COVID-19 in the world right now and 50,000 people who have died. It's very sobering, and it's kind of a strange reality to know that those things are going on, and here in Janesville, at least in a lot of ways, it seems very familiar, and spring is happening like it always does. So holding those things in balance is important. We hold gratitude together with our heartfelt prayers for people who are struggling and who are suffering. So tonight, first, we pray for nurses and healthcare workers who are facing the worst of this. Gracious God, give them courage and strength. Keep them safe. And help them to find the people that they can reach out to when they're stressed out and struggling with all of the suffering that they're experiencing and the heavy workload and the imbalance that's happened in their lives as this pandemic has overtaken us. Give them your strength. We pray also for teachers, because we know that they're working hard to get ready for online teaching next week, and for some there was little preparation for it and much hard work that's needing to happen, and it probably seems like there's no way that they can be ready by Monday. Lead them by your Spirit. Give them strength and gentleness for themselves, patience with one another. Guide the students who will be learning from them, and let them be patient with one another. Lead all of your people by the power of your Spirit. And next we pray for somebody specific, a man named Brian Spencer, a friend of Karen and George Grimsrud, members of First Lutheran Church. Brian lives out in Queens, New York, and has been diagnosed with COVID-19. And because there's so many cases of that right now, the hospitals are only taking people who are critical. And so he's sent home to care for himself in quarantine. Gracious God, be with Brian and with all the others who are struggling with this illness. Keep them safe. Bring them the power of your healing. Surround them with your love. And recognizing then how important it is that we continue to maintain the distance, as difficult as that is, how important it is that businesses stay closed for the time being so that we remain separated and don't continue to spread this disease. We give thanks for those who are being patient and who are attending to those guidelines. Give us the power to continue to be patient with one another and sustain us through these days. I want to end with a prayer from our evening prayer service that gathers all of these together. Keep watch, dear Lord, with those who work or watch or weep this night, and give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend to the sick, give rest to the weary, bless the dying, soothe the suffering, comfort the afflicted, shield the joyous, and all for your love's sake. Amen.
Amen.
that God would be our sight for us, that God would be our light. It's that Jesus is inviting us, that sense of openness and readiness to receive from God. At the end of the story of the man born blind, the Pharisees and other religious leaders are saying, well, we're not blind, are we? They're not willing to own their own inability to see. They're not ready to give themselves over. And Jesus said, if you owned your blindness, then you wouldn't have sin. But now that you say we see, your sin remains. The freedom to enter into the life that Jesus offers begins by opening ourselves, allowing that we're in need, that we're thirsty, that we're blind, that God might give us the sight, the water of life, the hope that we desire. And so again tonight, we give ourselves to God as we sing together the chant, changeless and calm, that we might become rooted again ever deeper into that truth. Changeless and calm, deep mystery, ever more deeply rooted in thee. Changeless and calm, deep mystery, ever more deeply rooted in thee. Changeless and calm, deep mystery, ever more deeply rooted in thee. May you rest tonight in that love and in that presence. May it bring you the healing and the balance that you need and desire.